Hey friends, I'm Lyn Allure. Asking for more money for work that you've been doing can be an awkward subject, especially if you've never done it before. I've been on both ends of the spectrum here. I've negotiated my salary and asked for raises, and I've also been the employer who got asked for a raise. What I learned from both kinds of experiences is that it doesn't hurt to ask, and it usually leads to a positive outcome for everyone involved. If you're considering asking for a raise, here are some tips. Number 1, choose the right time to ask. Avoid asking in the middle of a busy launch or a new large team project, but also don't wait too long to the point that you're harboring a bunch of resentment, because it may negatively influence how effective you are at professionally communicating your requests. Believe me, you want to have these conversations before the blow up, not after. A great time to ask for a raise could be at your next quarterly or annually review. If you miss the opportunity at your last review or your company doesn't regularly have them, ask your manager via email for time to speak privately and in person, or via video call if you work remotely, #work-from-home-life. Use sites like glassdoor.ca, indeed.ca, or payscale.com to research the average salary for your role and if the raise you're looking for coincides with the average range for your job title. If it doesn't, you may want to consider negotiating another job title and/or role within your company instead of just a pay increase. Prepare what you'll say and practice it. Practice it with a friend or a partner, practice in the mirror, or practice with your dog if you have to. The goal here is to sound confident when asking and treating the subject matter as seriously as you would have treated your initial hiring interview. Here's an example of what you can say. Hey Amanda, thanks so much for taking the time to meet with me today. Things have been going exceptionally well and I'm very grateful for my role here. I'm hoping to stay in my role and continue growing within the company. There's one thing I want to discuss though. Based on my increased job responsibilities and my job performance over the last year and a half, I thought it'd be an appropriate time to ask for an increase in my salary. After researching my average wages for my job title in Toronto, combined with my tenure at the company, the amount I'm looking for is between $66,000 and $69,000. Let me know what your thoughts are. And when asked about your work performance, actively communicate your value and why you deserve a raise. This is not the time for weak negotiation language like, I just kind of feel like, no. If you stepped in and secured money and/or customers for the company, now is not the time to get humble and modest. Speak up, friend, and acknowledge your value. Let's talk numbers. How much do you ask for? If I worked corporate, I'd ask for at least a 3% increase every single year to account for inflation and performance alone. Original 10 to 15% may be more suitable. Anything beyond that may be worth looking externally instead. Have a range that you'd like, with the bottom figure of that range being your desired wage. For example, you currently make $18 an hour and you'd like an increase of about 15%, which lands you at $21 an hour. After the research you've done, you notice the average range for the scope of what you're doing is $19 to $25. The range to communicate is between satisfied. Giving a range also suggests in either direction. If your employer says no or not right now, here are some things you can ask to kind of navigate the conversation. Are you satisfied with my performance? What are some things I can do to improve in my role or support the company better? Are there skills or accomplishments you'd like to see from me before increasing my salary or my wage? Is there a better or get the raise you're looking for in the future? Or also know if it's time to bounce. If it's a matter of company budget instead, you can ask if there is flexibility. Time to meet with you and summarize the highlights of your conversation. It's best to do this via email for 2 reasons. 1, if your manager needs to deliberate with their colleagues or their manager, Lastly, always speak about your role and the company in a positive way. Employers don't want to pay you to your threats of leaving the company. They want to adequately compensate valuable employees, and there's nothing more valuable than an employee who actually wants to be a part of the team. Always know unless you ask, so ask. Keep next employee evaluation.